Welcome back, singers. I've been giving you videos based on Scorpio's behavior, how we stay in control when we are in different environments. And I've been talking about different types of Scorpios. I'm going to continue to talk about that all through Scorpio season. I'm going to give you videos and more examples about the moon, the rising, interacting with other people, and how that plays out. Like I like to talk about it, but I don't think it really clicks in your heads. But when you see it and I break it down for you, it'll click. You're like, oh, I see what he's doing. Because I pick it up immediately because I am a strong Scorpio. So I have a treat today. I'm going to show you a video. We're going to look at Shailene Woodley, who's a strong Scorpio on the Drew Barrymore show. She is a Pisces. And I'm going to show you some things that you may not be aware of. All right, so let's just take a look here.
I've missed this woman so much.
missed you too.
What I didn't mention in the introduction was I was lucky enough to work with her a few times, and I'll show a couple samples of those get-togethers. That was oh my gosh! Oh, so I was the photographer.
Drew, this was one of the most fun photo shoots I've ever done.
Oh my God.
Truly.
It was such a wonderful day, such a wonderful shoot.
Who shot that?
Look at that. Look at that shot. Look how beautiful.
Oh my God.
That is. And getting to know you, and you ate a certain way when we would work together. You lived.
I'd bring my little mason jars everywhere with me.
You had a very specific, disciplined lifestyle, but that was also very.
I just want to say something that reminds me of me. I have mason jars everywhere in my bag when I would go to work, and I would just pull out my food. There was somebody who made fun of me. They're like, Malika just has endless things in that bag. We see grapes, we see this, we see that. But I always bring food with me. But anyway, so when we're talking about Pisces behavior, let me make myself a little bigger here, darling. When we talk about Pisces behavior, they're one of the only signs that don't have any armor. Okay, they're not fighters, they're lovers. They don't fight. And one of their reflexes is, and we all have them, we're all born with things that keep us safe. And we all fight in a certain way. You know, Scorpios have the stinger, but also depending on your ascendant, you know, I take on a very serious tone when I am in public or faced with individuals that I don't know, or particularly in a work environment. You know, you guys know that my ascendant is Capricorn and the ruler is in Leo. So, you know, I have a totally different persona when I'm dealing with individuals for the first time, and, you know, I'm unfamiliar with you. But even behind the scenes, I'm a Sun and Moon Scorpio. So it's like, I'm more on that side anyway. I'm not on the let's be friends and I'm sitting on the couch holding your hand. No, absolutely not. So Pisces doesn't have any armor. They don't want to fight. They don't want to intimidate. I mean, they can't intimidate anyway. But, you know, the ways in which they do it, and if you'll see, Drew has a whole setup where she's on the couch, sitting Indian style, face to face, and she has this touching thing that she does, holding the hand, touching the leg. And for her, that's a way of making people feel equal and safe. And she does a lot of self-deprecation, even though she's a superstar, darling, and has been her whole entire life. She comes from a superstar family. But what she'll do is lower herself and push the other a little bit, prop them up a little bit so that she can stay safe, because you're not going to want to fight or intimidate or bully the person who is praising you and saying, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, you're so wonderful, and I'm not, I can't believe I look like this. But like, they love to do that whole dance, and it keeps them safe. And also what it does, and I've explained this in many of my past videos, also what it does is it creates some sort of community of people who are like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. What it does is because they don't have the fight, they are very good at creating an army of people through lowering themselves, and so that everybody either feels sorry for them or thinks they're so sweet. Oh my gosh, they're so defenseless, I'm going to fight for them. And I know how this works. Scorpios, unfortunately, we do not have that privilege because we're ruled by the two planets of death, war, and everything else. So people know that we can defend ourselves, so they kind of come at us, They don't come at Pisces like that. They're like, oh my gosh, she's so sweet. So I want you to keep that in mind throughout this interview. Now, I met Shailene Woodley, and I'll tell you the funny story afterwards. But here we go.
Natural to you. How do we be ourselves and not think about what other people's, thoughts are about it?
Well, when I was younger, it was easy because all the people that I surrounded myself with were doing the same thing. I mean, I learned how to hunt at a young age because I was like, if I'm going to eat meat, I want to know that I know what to do. And then I would do like survival skills because I was interested in the environment. We'd go on these long camping trips. And then in my mid-20s, early to mid-20s, I started saying things publicly and seeing what people were saying, and it did affect me because I felt insecure. I felt like, oh no, did I do something wrong? Because I saw the world from a specific lens. I was talking to this really brilliant writer that I just had the opportunity to work with. We were talking about childhood trauma and
one of my favorite subjects.
Oh, we know something about this. Anyway, we were talking about, he was like, yeah, it took me a while to realize my compass was just bent. And he's like, no matter how hard you try, how good of a person you are, the right decisions you're making, the things you're seeking, if you don't work at the foundation of who you are inside, your North Star is not really north. It's kind of east or it's kind of west. So you think you're heading in the right direction, but your compass is just tweaked. And for me, it was such a profound way of articulating how I felt, which is going inside and going, oh, the foundation of myself is broken because I don't like myself.
Yes.
I think I do, but I'm really mean. Like,
yes.
I am mean.
Yes.
And then changing.
And I want you guys to take a look at the hand holding and things like that. And Shailene she's a very strong Scorpio. So she's very water and fixed. So she is a sun, and both her ruling planets, Pluto and Mars, are in Scorpio. She has I believe, a Cancer ascendant, and then her moon is in Pisces. So she has a lot of this watery energy. Now, I don't believe that her comfortability is like holding hands, but I think she's just doing it for Drew at this point. I think she's just doing that. I mean, notice the seating in the way it is. There's a little bit of like, let me create a tiny bit of distance. But I love the way she is just creating the whole energy, like going on her little tangent of like, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to kind of gear this conversation. Because, Scorpios, when you start talking about things, self-esteem, how do you learn to like yourself and this, that, and the other, depending on who it is, and I believe if Shailene was with somebody who she knew could go deeper, like this conversation wouldn't have been like, oh, the book, and like that's great, but it's still veering a little bit above the surface. And we had this conversation when I talked about Katy Perry with that whole thing, and then there's some giggling in the midst of it, okay, to keep it a little bit above water.
Recalibrating that, where I'm like, oh, I think I'm pretty awesome. And you're a great example for me, again, working with you so young and seeing, no, truly, it's like I've been blessed to have people at young age show up in a really real, truthful, pure way.
Did Kate Winslet actually, was she someone who was like a good sounding board for you? I mean, Kate
Beyond.
Winslet.
I mean, you guys.
So you notice that how Drew always like props people up. Now they're talking about Kate Winslet, and now keep this in mind. Shailene is much younger. Me and Drew Barrymore are the exact same age. We're both born in 1975. And Shailene, I think, is only like 30, 31. So there's a big age difference here. So you would think that there's a different power dynamic. So now they're talking about somebody who, and if you guys don't know who Shailene Woodley is, like all the Divergent, like she's done a myriad of amazing films. So she's very seasoned. And I believe that's where her and Kate Winslet worked on. Also, Kate Winslet is my exact age. We're all the 1975ers. Kate is a strong Libra, like Libra everywhere you blink. She's sun, moon, rising, everything. Anyway.
Not to overuse the word real, but she's just real. She is who she is, and she's not afraid to be who she is, and she's done the hard work. Oh my gosh. That's a great
I
quote.
read a quote of hers recently that I really appreciated, which was, she said, I wish I had had the gumption and confidence that I have now as a woman, as a young girl when I came out in Titanic. And particularly men commented on my body shape and size and how I would not have allowed that at all. And I would have shut it down right there and then. And I'm like, wow.
But you know what's cool about that is she maybe didn't do that for herself, but she did do it for me. She
How
absolutely
so?
did. Because we worked together. I was 21. I had all, the influx of public life and being told you should look a certain way or you should be a certain thing or don't eat that or do this or dye your hair a different color. And she absolutely sat me down, held my shoulders, did this, and was like, no, that's not who you are. This is the truth. And she gave me that moment. And I would not be who I am today without her.
Okay, that's the most healing thing I've ever heard.
It's true.
And it leads me into Three Women, which was such a big deal when it came out in the book. And it was, I'm not surprised it got immediately turned into a film, a series.
Look at Shailene's face. She is like she's waiting for all the praise stuff to stop. And that is really typical when a Scorpios get in conversations with other people who, now Shailene is very aware. Scorpios, we're so sensitive. We're aware who is like I don't have the language for, and maybe I need to create it. The exact word for people like Drew who kind of prop you up, and we know when you are a person who can't come out swinging for yourself, or you need to have a lot of people around you that help you like navigate that, like that's not your strong point. So you saw her face. She's just like, okay, all the stuff, like, waiting for it to end. Hang on.
Me. I love all the storylines so much. And this is a very sexy, sexual, I think it delves into your character needs to go and write about women's sexuality. And then you find these three great women with very diverse, complex things that they're dealing with, but all connected by sexuality.
Yeah.
It's
juicy. Like,
is.
we don't hide it. It's very open.
Oh, she's sexy. I was super turned on a lot, and I was like, my libido was like,
Ding, 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 ding.
Was it really, Drew? Was it? She's so over the top. Anyway, that is that. Let me... Oh, gosh. Here we go. So, Shailene, there's a new film with her coming up. And so I worked on it just for one day. And the wardrobe put me in like... I don't know, 4-inch heels. And I'm a kitten heel girl. These big ass shoes. And it was funny because I think Shailene was getting mic'd up. And I was sitting there with these shoes on. And she walks by and she's like, oh, cute outfit. And I show her my shoes and she's like, oh shit. And so after she got dressed with wardrobe, they put her in like the exact same shoes. And she was like, we were both like, oh shit. She was like, look, shoe twins. So it was like a funny, cute moment. But anyway, it wasn't like we hung out or anything like that. But anyway, you'll notice that in this interview that she dominates her space and she recognizes who Drew is, and you can go watch any of her other interviews and maybe you'll pick up on a couple of things, because it depends on who we're around, what we're trying to get. Like, I know when I'm in the vicinity of somebody who's going to try and strong arm me or like dominate the situation, and then I take it in a different route. And she knows that Drew is somebody who is not going to do that. She already knows who she is. She knows that she props people up and she has this whole like this. So she does a little bit of making her feel safe too. Like the holding of the hand, I don't think she would have been doing with somebody else. She just had one hand and there's like a dog on the lap. And so there's different ways that Scorpios just stay in control of the whole dynamic. But also, depending on who we're dealing with, there's a way that we're going to deal with you in a certain way. Like with her, she didn't get too deep with Drew. She wasn't throwing fake compliments. She really had a great time with Kate Winslet, and that was her experience as a young girl. That was it. And then you saw Drew like, oh my God, like she just, I don't know. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you picked up on a couple things. You can like rewind it or go look for the interview yourself and see, if you can pick up on more things. But as a strong Scorpio, I already know what was going on, and I know by first meeting what her energy was with me, with that little, whatever we had in the hallway. All right, guys, thank you for sharing my video. Scorpio season is on the way and the planets are coming in heavy. Right now, you're going to see people reacting. I know that the videos I'm putting up, people are reacting very strong. They are getting triggered. They are whining in the comments. They are, and I expect that. People get overreactive when Scorpio, we hit emotionally. So we're going to trigger a lot of people's emotions. And, during Scorpio season, people love to pop out, come out the graveyard and this, that, and the other. So just expect it, guys. This is going to be an amazing Scorpio season. I'm so excited. I'll see you at ScorpioSunScorpioMoon.com, where you can book chart reading, tarot reading, shop my store, buy my books, and take a course and all that good stuff. I'll see you guys soon. Mwah.